Welcome to In Black and White tonight ahead of the big Round 18 clash against Gold Coast up at Metricon Stadium. And a very, very special In Black and White tonight because Paul Curia, for the first time, is not with us, but an able replacement, the great Anthony Rocca. Pebs, great to see you here, and big shoes to fill. Liquor is a star, you know that.
Oh, they are huge, mate. We all know the presence that liquor has, but hopefully I can do it justice.
And how's life after football? I noticed it's been good to you in terms of the way you look.
Been in a good paddock, have I, Chriso? Look, I've enjoyed my time away from playing football. I'm doing some coaching with the VFL at Collingwood, so that's keeping me busy at the moment as well.
Well, we're going to hear more about that a bit later, but in the meantime, all the news from Westpac Centre, including the selection news this week that Collingwood is making 4 changes to the side for the trip up north, and stay tuned for the named 22 later in the show. The club also announced earlier in the week that it has recorded a massive increase in its membership tally of nearly 20% for the second consecutive year. The total membership now stands at 71,271, a record for any club in AFL history. And a big thank you and congratulations to all the Magpie Army out there. Now, on Saturday night, the Magpies will take on the newly formed Gold Coast Suns at Metricon Stadium. Now, Historica Collingwood has 14 wins from 18 matches playing against sides for the first time. In fact, the last time the Magpies played against a new side was way back in 1997 when Anthony Rocca, it was round 1 of that year, and his teammates, of course, hosted Port Adelaide at the MCG. And Pebs, it was a big day, it was a big win. What are your memories?
Well, my biggest memory is my first game for Collingwood, which was...
which was it?
Yeah, in 1997. I got to play my first game with my brother Sav and the famous Collingwood team. So, and we had a massive win, which was great, and the feeling afterwards was pretty exciting, and it's one of my games where I felt the most sore after a game as well. That's something I remember about that game.
Yeah, that was a big win that day. Now, we shouldn't have too many problems. We're going to talk more about it later, but we shouldn't have too many problems up against Gold Coast, should we?
Oh, look, it's one of those unknown games that you're coming into at the team that we've never played before, when we don't exactly know what they're going to throw. You know, our forward scouts do all the work and getting all the stats and all those things ready, but it'll be a feeler for the first part of the game.
Now, one of the stars of the season so far has been Scott Pendlebury, who's just had an outstanding year. He's not the only one, mind you, but what have you made of his season?
Look, he's a guy who continually works, and he's just able to get out of a contest by using his power and his legs to get through a contest. His kicking's pretty good. Pretty good for a left footer, that is. And he never shirks an issue for a guy his size. He's 6'2".
Yeah.
And he plays in the midfield and can run all day. And look at that tackle he puts on Juddy. So. Look, he's a marvellous player and will continue to be because he's so young.
Well, he's averaged 28 disposals so far this season, 12 and a half of those contested, 6 tackles, or just over 6 tackles, and nearly 5 clearances. So great stats by anyone's language, and has now polled 54 total coaches' votes from 10 games. So certainly absolutely sensational. And one of the other stars, you talked about his kicking, and we're going to watch a couple of goals here. One from Scott Pendlebury and one from Steele Sidebottom from the big win against the Blues last week. And the first one from Sidebottom, what did you make of that? That is outstanding, isn't it?
I think he just threw it on the boot and hoped for the best. Look, he knows where the goals are, Steele, and look, he's at the foot of Travis Cloak most of the time. So, snap around the corner, put it up in the air and hope for the best.
Yeah, he got it to move incredibly back sort of left to right at the end. Now, this is the other goal from Pendlebury. Just always seems to have plenty of time and always looks laconic and casual, but just so effective.
Yeah, like I said before, his work rate is massive, that he gets to the contest and he can power out without anyone onto him. So that's a great goal. Now,
there's some great goals there, but in your day, there was a couple of specials as well, mate. Now, we're going to take a look at one in particular. Now, just talk me through this, mate. Now, there's Leon.
I think
handball to himself. Does that count as a stat?
He was having the shot for goal.
Yeah.
So
Let's have a look at this. Shepherd.
And got it off the back of the foot.
You didn't even mean to kick it, mate.
Well, the ball was just there. I just wanted to tap it through.
Let's have a look at this again. Now,
I think my backside's that big that the ball stayed under my legs.
You didn't even know it hit your foot. Oh, that is absolute gem. Now, we're having a bit of fun. Look, there's the back heel, accidental. You even missed it when you tried to just force it through.
Yeah, those things happen in football, Chris.
Now, mate, I've got to say, we had a bit of fun there, but there were a few decent goals that you kicked in your time too. A couple of barrels we're going to have a look at.
There were some decent ones I missed too. So.
Now, that's got to be at least, well, that one's about 70. That one goes through at half goalpost height. That's got to be at least 70.
That was a drop punt. This one,
Gee, you look thin there, mate.
I look young. Gee. The Torpy just kept going. That was Anzac Day.
Oh.
Many years ago.
Sensational stuff. And we didn't even have time to put the E.J. Whitten bomb in there.
That's the most famous one going around at the moment.
You must have been pretty happy with that.
Well, before the game, I said to myself, I'm going to kick the biggest goal I've ever kicked tonight. I managed to try and do it.
All right, it's time now for one of our regular segments. And Dale Thomas, who's had an outstanding season, takes us through a signing session with his teammates.
Thanks very much, Pebs and Chriso. We're down here in the Collingwood Inner Sanctum. It's one of our very few signing sessions. As you can see, there's quite a few jumpers. I'm your host for this signing session, Dazzy Fizzle, and I'm going to go around, show you me man, Cracky Nizzle. We'll tell you a bit about it. Let's roll. Right, here we are with my main man, Cracky Fizzle. Cracky Fizz, tell the peeps what's up.
Peeps, what up? There's a few jumpers getting around today, and we're putting a few monikers on them. So there's a few there, but almost done and dusted, so have a good day.
There you go, you heard it from my main man first, making sure they're all fantastic signatures, so all the lovely Collingwood people that get some of this fantastic memorabilia can make sure for years to come that not only is it authentic and legit, you can make out who your favourite players are and tell yarns from yesteryear. Dizzy Fizzle, he's rolling with the shizzle, out for now.
Wonderful stuff from Daisy Thomas. And those sessions seem to be getting longer and longer and longer as the years tick by, mate.
Mate, you walk into that room and you look at all the tables and all the jumpers on the tables and you're going, how am I going to get through this? You actually get a sore back from leaning over.
And a sore hand, I'm tipping as well. All right, so time now to look at the selection for the big game against Gold Coast, an important game just to keep the momentum going. And 4 changes in all for the Magpies. The outs, Darren Jolly with illness, Alan Tuvey with his broken finger that he's just had surgery on, a groin problem for Sharad Wellingham, and Luke Rounds surprising with his omission. He's been omitted, so no injury for Luke Rounds. He's been omitted. And the ins, Cameron Wood, Tyson Goldsack, Brent McCaffer and Simon Buckley. So what do you make of the team for the game against Gold Coast?
Look, I would have liked to see Rounds play another game because I thought his form had warranted him to stay in, but I'm not on the coaching committee. But Woody, Goldsack, McCaffer and Buckley have all been performing in the VFL, so their opportunity has come back. And
Brent McCaffer's had a tough year. He was one of course of 4 that went to Arizona.
Yep.
He's had a really interrupted preparation, so good to see him given an opportunity because he was, I reckon, one of the unsung heroes last year.
Yeah, he was, and unfortunately for him, his pre-season was interrupted with injury. So, like most players who have an interrupted pre-season, they start to struggle throughout the start of the year. But he did go to Arizona and has come back pretty fit at the moment. He's raring to go. And
Darren Jolly with illness, so hopefully that's not too serious and he can be back in the senior side reasonably quickly. All right, time now for our look at the opposition, Gold Coast, with the gun himself, Nathan Buckley.
Thanks, Chriso, and g'day to your new sidekick, Pebs. I'm sure he's doing well for you. Obviously got the Gold Coast Suns this weekend, had a good win against Richmond last week, and they play with a lot of youthful exuberance. I think that's how you spell it too, Pebs. I'll get you to check it for me later. But they're a young side. They've been working their way through the year steadily, well coached by Turtle McKenna. The fact that they've been able to get 3 wins on the board and have come off a win is of concern to us because we know that they'll have their tails up and will be really running hard. Their tools have been fantastic. Young Zach Smith in the ruck, Josh Fraser, Tom Lynch up forward has been excellent. Charlie Dixon, we know, Rory Thompson down back. So they're young, tall players, good in the air, very quick to get on ground level as well. So that'll be a challenge for us. And their stoppage work, second in total clearances in the AFL this year. Definitely a side that have been able to create space at stoppages and really run hard and spread well out of those stoppages. We know Gary Ablett, Richard Telly, Jared Brennan, who gets in there at times. But David Swallow has been fantastic out of that area. Dion Prestia in the last couple of weeks. So names that not everyone knows, the younger players, but names that definitely haven't snuck under our radar, and we're looking forward to getting up there and really challenging ourselves against the young Gold Coast Suns.
Beautiful work, Bucks. Thanks very much for that. And there's one area they've done really well at, the stoppages, this young team.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at a couple of stoppages from last week, they did really well against Richmond. They opened up at the back of the stoppage a few times and got some shots on goal from those as well. You know, the guys like Ablett and Swallow getting through there. You know, they're A-graders at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're genuine A-graders who are winning their own ball and delivering it forward.
And you look at and Bucks mentioned there, the youthful exuberance. They would have got a lot of confidence out of last week's win against Richmond. Again, I know they were kicking against the wind in the first term against the Tigers, but down by 6 goals at quarter time, to be able to come back, get over the top, hold on and win, it was a great effort.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, any young side that you give the opportunity to, you know, their confidence grows when they hit the scoreboard or when they're doing something really well. And you know, and the Gold Coast are one of those teams who will draw on that. You know, they've got a lot of young players who you could say, you know, they run forward, but really we've got to be on our toes. I wouldn't say cheat. I'd say run forward.
And of course, they took it right up to Geelong. I mean, their first half when they played at home earlier on in the season against the Cats, who were unbeaten at the time, was phenomenal. They were matching them stride for stride until half time. Yeah,
it was till about half time, 3/4 time, where Geelong just started to get away. Like I said, if you can, they maintain their momentum with their excitement, their ball use, and delivering that ball forward to guys like Brennan, Smith as well. And look, they've got a lot of handy players there who can pull that side along.
All right, should be a big challenge for the boys on Saturday night. But Pebs, now time for one of our special segments. Now, I reckon in your playing day you would have featured with this, but it's Darren Not So Jolly. Now, Pebs, in black and white tonight has had a marked impact on Darren Not So Jolly because he hasn't given away many free kicks the last couple of weeks, but gee, against Carlton he was back to his very best. The game-high 5 tackles he gave away.
Are you saying he's been watching the show, have you?
He's been watching and he knows our eyes are on him, but he just lost all direction against Carlton.
Oh, look, he's as a ruckman, there's free kicks that can go 50-50, particularly in the ruck.
Don't support him.
Oh, well, I help out with the ruck, so I've got to support him.
You've got a vested interest, that's what you've got. Now, you would have given away a few free kicks in your time, I'm tipping?
Oh, probably 1 or 2.
We've got one right here, which was fairly significant. Now Didak gets...
Now, Chris, you were commentating here, mate. You watch this, okay?
Now, there's 50 and a certain goal. Now, let's just see what happens.
What have I done? Tell me what have I done?
I'm not sure, but here we go. Bang! Put him down. Put him... and so innocent.
I stood there and he ran into me.
And it got reversed.
That up, Hayden Kennedy, he should have got a couple of weeks for that.
It is again.
And this is half a minute later.
This is half a minute later, is it? Oh, that's right. Now, you were lucky. You weren't called to play on then.
I absolutely was.
You took 4 steps to the side.
And I'm lucky I kicked this goal
Did you kick it?
Yeah, I did.
Just lovely work, mate. Lovely work.
I think I copped the caning from Robert Wills too that night as well.
Well, look, I think everyone's been guilty of giving away the odd free kick from time to time.
Yeah, absolutely. When that free kick really wasn't there. Honestly.
Well, we
should put a poll to the viewers.
You just didn't need to be there, mate. Anyway, we've got to move on because the VFL, now you mentioned you've been helping out. So how are the boys going? Not the best of results against Willie.
No, they haven't been going the best. You know, there's been a lot of opportunities where we've been in games and been close enough to win games. But due to the fact that our players are pretty young and they really, you know, a lot of them have only got 1 pre-season under their belt, so we really can't sustain the intensity that some of the other clubs have got at the moment. But we are playing some good football in patches. So there's some good players standing up and putting their hand up for selection.
What about this young man, Daniel Farmer? How have you seen his development?
Look, Daniel started the year pretty slow and we really had to narrow him down to work rate. and he's really lifted that over the past couple of months. And some of the work rate that he has done since that has been excellent. You know, driving out of the packs, getting the contests, crumbing goals, and leading up with the football as well. He's been excellent at the moment.
And the great thing about this side is, although the results necessarily aren't being successful in terms of going Collingwood's way, what it is doing is still giving a good platform so that guys can press their senior selection chances.
Yeah, absolutely. That's been our major focus for the whole year through our development of these players. So we need to develop these players so when they come into the senior side, they know their roles, they know their structures, and they know what they need to do to come into the side. So
the 32-point deficit to Williamstown, but the boys have got a bye this week, which is great having a bye, but not so great for those that are trying to get back in the senior side. Yeah, you'd love to get a little bit of continuity at time with some of the players who have missed through injury, but it's a long year and some of these guys do need a rest. So it's come at a good time, but look, some of the players need it and some of the players don't. All right, Pebs, we are out of time, but I've got to say your performance has been absolutely outstanding. I don't know that Licker can get back. I don't think he will get back. Mate, thanks very much for joining us. We look forward to a big win over the Gold Coast on Saturday night at Metricon Stadium, and look forward to catching you next week on In Black and White Tonight. Good night.